Welcome to the Strategies of Football. This is the Dallas Cowboys at the Philadelphia Eagles. We're going to show you the direct coaches tape of what happened in this game, drawing up some of the key concepts that are used regularly throughout it, showing how they worked, what didn't work, and what could have been a little bit different. This is a fantastic game. I hope you guys enjoyed. Strategies of Football, Dallas Cowboys at the Philadelphia Eagles.
Cowboys start the game off here with an end around to CeeDee Lamb, where he's going to come through and cut up and test the outside of the defense. We're going to have it blocked up where our receivers are taking out our corners here. We're going to get a one-on-one block on Haason Reddick and Fletcher Cox and setting the edge in that capacity. Now, the job of the defense in this play is essentially, as the edge guy, don't let him come past you. Haason Reddick's job is to make it difficult for CeeDee Lamb to get past. So the way that we do this is penetration here and penetration here from Fletcher Cox. And these two do it so great on this play. I really like how aggressive they are coming in the field. And this is part of when they say stop the run on the way to the passer. We pause it right here to show that this play started at the 16. They have pushed CeeDee Lamb back 5 yards as a result of their penetration, which is fantastic. We now have given our middle linebacker here, Edwards, a free look to get an easy loss of gain tackle right over here. And this basically comes down to a one-on-one play between Edwards and CeeDee Lamb. So we let it flow through here. And Edwards just isn't fast enough. CeeDee Lamb's raw speed turned that play into what should have been a 4-yard loss. And CeeDee Lamb turned into about an 8.5-yard gain. Again, amazing play by Reddick and Cox. CeeDee is just amazing. In this play, I'm going to highlight Kayvon Wallace, number 43 of the Eagles. He's given the assignment of stopping CeeDee Lamb as he's coming up on a basic in route. And this is a route combination that people use a lot in the NFL for the simple purpose that normally your defensive back ends up holding on this play, especially against a really fast receiver like CeeDee Lamb. Now, from the first angle, I want to show that there. Now, from this one, I want to point out Cooper Rush is not really doing a lot of helping of CeeDee Lamb in this play either. CeeDee Lamb has so much quickness. If he would allow him to come out of the break and lead him a little bit better, it would be a much harder play for Kayvon Wallace to make. But nonetheless, Kayvon Wallace steps up and boom, that's fantastic. One thing that is evident watching the Cowboys-Eagles game is that the Cowboys copy a lot of concepts, if not plays outright, from the Eagles. And the one major detraction that they have is that Cooper Rush is nowhere near athletic as Jalan Hurts. In this play, it is completely dependent upon the defensive end to believe that the read option motion between Zeke going up the middle and Cooper Rush coming off the side actually being a viable option. Since Cooper Rush has no athleticism, the defensive end will always crash on Zeke. And that is ultimately what we're going to see in this play. The other part of this play that I really want to call out and give love to is Hargrave. They're going to ultimately end up having this entire play be based upon a double team on Hargrave and a roll up. And because Hargrave is able to step up and stop it right here, putting 66 in his place, there's nowhere for Zeke to go. So yeah, does he ultimately get caught on the defensive end from behind? Yes. But if Hargrave would have gone pushed backwards or not come across the face, there would have been a massive hole for Zeke. Hargrave doesn't get credit for the tackle, but Hargrave made that play. This play shows a lot of where Hurts is at. So first I'm going to show the play live. You see the snap comes in low, and boom, it's a strike for a first down. So I want to try to draw why this happens and why this is an impressive play for Hurts. The motion shows us that we're going to be in man-to-man coverage with a single coverage over the top. However, what it doesn't tell us is everyone on this line coming, or are they dropping back in some capacity? And without that knowledge, that changes the direction of what this read is. We got Smith doing a quick slant across as Brown is doing the in over here. If any of these players drop back and Hurts just keys in on the slant across the field, it's almost certainly an interception. That's how a lot of the interceptions happen in Madden. So therefore, if someone drops back, we should go to Brown. But no one does, and Hurts is able to read that the most effective and appropriate route is to hit the slant right there. Going downfield, it's always better to hit someone who's still moving downfield, even at an angle, than someone who is moving completely horizontal to the field. It's a great play to recover from a busted snap and a move forward. Pass rushing is just so critical to the modern NFL. And we're going to show you how the Cowboys use their stud as a decoy and stunts from the other two main guys to really make some stuff happen here. So as I said, the Cowboys are looking for this on a passing down, knowing that they have their stud here in Parsons. And the question isn't, is he going to get chipped? Because he always does. The question is the running back going to stay in and block? In this case, he doesn't. Armstrong's responsibility is to get that guard moving to the left. So to do that, he pulls to the left, and Osa comes back around the other side. Now, Philadelphia stays manned up instead of exchanging it. So what happens is, as the guard starts moving this way, there's an opportunity to push the center straight back and to trip everyone up. So while Osa and Armstrong make this play look amazing, and it is all derived from the threat of Parsons on the outside, you got to give love to the penetration that's caused that really allows this play to happen. The Cowboys on this play will show an inherent problem with zone blocking schemes, as Tony Pollard is tackled by a guy who was never even blocked. So let's break down what that problem is and how to actually address it in drawing the play. So pausing it right here at the snap of the ball, you get to see that every single lineman is just looking to the right and hitting whoever is in their way. We have Noah Brown coming out trying to kick out Kyzir White in what is just a mismatch for two reasons. First is you can see that his feet already stopped due to the fact that number 84 here has not gone out of his way. But also, since 84 is just cutting down this way, Kyzir White is just in a little hole where no one is going to get him, and that allows just a perfect pursuit in tackling this ball. Because you literally are not blocking an inside linebacker, the defense's best ways to tackle a play, you're setting yourself up for failure. And that's exactly what happens in this play. We get a blown tackle from a tight end on a defensive end and an unblocked middle linebacker. How could this go any other way? The Dallas Cowboys, after getting blown up on that zone, use some power blocking here and get much better results. And we're going to break down what gave them better results on this play. First, we have CeeDee Lamb coming across in motion. In doing so, he pulls the linebackers across. That helps our double team that we have with Martin and Steele, who are double teaming here to roll up. We have an outside kick out block here, which then gives you a nice little lane for Zeke to go through is the entire play. They, in addition to this, are also going to be bringing through a pulling player here to come through to take whoever gets in the way. It's a lot of lines on the screen to show a really drawn up play. But where it goes really well for the Eagles is that it is dependent upon a one-on-one block right here with Reddick. And Haason Reddick is a great player, and when he breaks through this one-on-one, he ends up stumbling Zeke and holding Zeke back from getting a massive gain. But nonetheless, it doesn't take any away from the play being drawn and it working out well. Zeke is just a powerful man. If you let him get going, there's nothing really stopping him. So Dallas got some potential here to really get their running game going. It just needs to happen. So here we have a third down play where Cooper Rush has to do a pure arm strength throw in this 15-yard out, and you see it just doesn't work out. This is the kind of throw that needs to be able to be done in the NFL. This is the true test of what your arm strength is, and we can see here how Marcus Epps is just able to undercut it. And it's not to take anything away from Epps, but if this was a strong Dak Prescott play, that's a first down and Dallas keeps moving. This is the kind of thing that they're going to get back once Prescott is back, and this team's going to be so much better just by virtue that Cooper Rush was a great story, but at the end of the day, he's going to end up just being a backup for life. I really love the way that the Eagles attack defenses with the way that they draw plays, attacking the so-called every blade of grass. So they have a deep man here in Smith who's going to go out to the 35 and then do a hard slant across Brown is going to do a go down here. We're going to have a 35 in from Goddard, and Stoll is going to just do a quick little slant as your underneath guy. And then to top it off on top of it, we also throw out the running back to the left side. And you can just see from the way that this play is drawn up that each of the receivers are going to very different areas of the field, which makes it hard for any defense to key on. In previous videos, I have discussed about how it is very easy for coordinators to draw routes to basically just say, find the area in the zone, you're a professional receiver, and go there. And that's a very common way it's done. But this play is drawn up. Each of them have a specific route to execute it, and Hurts reads it rather than the receivers and Hurts having to be on the same page. What it ensures is that all of the linebackers and all of the safeties are tested equally, and it gives the option. So as we watch this play through now here on the third time, we're going to see that the running back actually ends up becoming wide open across the screen, and Smith would have been open over the top had there been more time. So it's one of these things that it gives you options moving downfield, and if you're looking to cover this play moving forward in the future, because so much of the grass is covered and all of these receivers are viable based upon the coverage, it really allows so much hard work for a defensive coordinator trying to stop something like this. Philadelphia has a very well drawn up offense. It's fourth down here, and the Eagles are going to run the modern equivalent of the triple option. Fake handoff, Jalen rolls off, and hits Brown perfectly. Now let's break down why this play was such a great success. So first we see the motion here, which shows that we're going to be in man coverage. We have the option here of the run right up the middle, Jalen coming around the outside, and Brown swinging around. Now, one technical thing I want to point out with this play that's incredibly important that probably gets overlooked is that when Brown catches this ball, he's behind the line of scrimmage. And the reason that's significant is because with the run fake option, the linemen are selling the run because they need a minimal amount of gain and they think that ball's coming behind them because they have to in case it does. But because Brown is behind the line of scrimmage, legally it's a screen pass, and because it's a screen pass, you can be downfield, which is the entire reason this play works and doesn't get called back. The other part of this play I want to call out is looking at number 7 as he's coming across the field trying to chase him. Right there, boom, he gets hit by Devontae Smith running a perfect little pick route. Every pass play I have dissected the Eagles is incredibly well drawn. Sure, sometimes it doesn't work out because a block gets missed here, there, or errant throw or whatever. But this Eagles team is one of the most fundamentally well-schemed teams that you could ever see. And if you want to draw an offense, any offense, not just a running offense, but any offense, I would start by looking at the Philadelphia Eagles. And, oh, by the way, McCarthy copies them like crazy. So it's a good example. It's well established within this game and overall that the Eagles are really good at running the ball. And when the Cowboys just leave an open hole like this, it's like, what are you doing? You have an entire gap that the Eagles don't even need to work hard to open it up. And they do that a couple times like this in this game. And Jalen Hurts every single time just audibles and takes the free 8 yards. As every quarterback should, unless it's like 3rd and 20. Take the free yardage the defense is giving you. And my fundamental question at the end of the day is, why are the Cowboys just freely giving it? You know, there's something schematically wrong if this is your idea of good defense. And I just don't understand why they would be executing it like this. Oh man, this run right here is one where your linemen love you forever for the greatness that Sanders brings to the table here. And we're going to show this one in a little bit slow motion about what happens. So first, as we see the hole here. So what we're going to see right here is Dickerson pushing Golston back. And that's obviously very good to have at the point of attack, a good, strong guard just blowing someone back. But we also notice that Vander Esch is sitting here in where the hole was being, and Golston, the D tackle, has the edge to that lane as well. So what is shown here is a lane right here, and that's what Miles Sanders is going to pop his head in and look like, make both Golston and Vander Esch overreact, and kick it out as Dickerson will swing his hips around to prevent a holding. This is running back and guard completely in sync and taking both the D tackle and the linebacker completely out of the play. It is absolutely great to do, and I just love how it works out. This is just teamwork and working off of each other in an isolation drill to the max, and it's absolutely phenomenal. You may have heard it said in the past that wide receiver's job is to sit in the hole in the zone. But one thing a receiver's job is never to do is sit in the heart of the zone. And that's exactly what Gallup does on this play. He really gives Cooper Rush no chance of success. First, the Philly doesn't really bite too much on that Zeke play action. And Gallup is literally sitting right next to the corner who ultimately ends up tipping the ball up to him. Makes it a very easy interception for the rookie C.J. Gardner-Johnson. And we can blame Cooper Rush for a lot of things in this game. But at the end of the day, throwing the ball to Gallup is the problem here. But what Gallup does absolutely does not make himself a viable option. Earlier, we showed you how the Cowboys failed at an inside zone play. And this time, we're going to show you how the Eagles do it successfully, despite some of the limitations that an inside zone still has. So we're still running all of our linemen off to the left to pick up their corresponding counterparts. The big difference between the way the Eagles are running it compared to the way that the Cowboys ran it is the Cowboys had their tight ends coming sharp across, while the Eagles had theirs going up and taking out this cluster of people. You're still outnumbered 3-2, but at least you give yourself more of a fighting chance. The other key thing is that Sanders is going into the zone no matter what, and there is zero possibility of him doing a cutback because all of his blocking is there. And he can do that. The Eagles are going to show their outside zone play here. And if they can block it up like this, they're essentially going to be an unstoppable force. So let's stop it before we start here and draw what they're actually going to be doing here. This is a zone play to the left, so everyone is to get to the left and their man in front of you. These guys do a little bit of a combo block here before rolling out to take out that man here as he's running across. Sanders, as you can tell, is under center, so he's going to do a stretch play harder to the outside. It's one of these things that really give you an edge. But the number one challenge to this play is this block right here. Dickerson has to get his body outside and then pin it back in to be able to make a hole, or else he'll get a holding penalty. And the one thing that's true with the Eagles is they don't get a whole lot of holding penalties. And I want you to watch 69 Dickerson here. Pops to the outside and turns it. That is elite guard level type play. And it's something that really should be commendable. This is my favorite play of the first half. First off, it's the exact same play the Eagles ran on their fourth down earlier in the drive in which they got it. And the Cowboys not only didn't learn anything from it, they actually executed it worse the second time around. I want to spotlight first on Jourdan Lewis. Watch him there. He just went in motion, and when the play starts, he runs away from where A.J. Brown goes. What are we doing? Mike McCarthy's supposed to be a good coach, isn't he? How can you not spotlight your fourth down play that you let up and then do the exact same look, have Micah Parsons do zero adjustment? You watch the two of them plays. He comes in, he follows Brown and isn't fast enough and quit. It is just horrendous. These isn't like it was a run-of-the-mill first down. No one knew what was going on. This first time they ran it was a fourth down play that they needed to continue the drive. It's a beautiful triple option by Jalen Hurts. There is zero complaint about what Philadelphia does. It's run to a T, but these guys look like they've never even seen it before. When again, they saw it earlier in the game on a fourth down play. It is just absolutely mind-boggling to me that you have this defensive coordinator in Dallas who's supposed to be the greatest thing since sliced bread, executes the play worse than he did the first time, and it's still to be praised, this Dallas coaching staff. I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing? Just one more time because I love it so much. They all run to the left. A.J. Brown is faster than you. And boom, it's over. Turning to a positive light for the Cowboys, I do believe that Zeke is on the cusp of some really big things, as we're going to show how they're drawing up this play here. First off, there's two really good things I like about it. First is it's just straight, we got who we got, a backside pulling up, and just an absolute annihilation end block here. And they're going to run this kind of blocking style a couple times throughout the games, and it worked out really well. But in this particular example, when we pause right here, it looks like this should just be a massive Zeke through here, 20 yards. Let's see if he can beat a safety or something. Might be a career type run for him. But unfortunately, what has been happening with Dallas far too often is we're just missing the easy things. Multiple 100-pound advantage in this matchup right here, and it just doesn't get the job done. It doesn't get the job done for a couple of key reasons. First is it's a lot easier to turn in a jet ski than it is on a big, huge cruise liner, which is what's being asked of that guard right there. But I do believe they're on the edge of some good things. And Zeke is going to be someone to build around moving forward. Fourth down, Cowboys are going to try to run a concept the Eagles have been. Play action to the one side, throw it to the other. Obviously, it doesn't work nearly as well as the Eagles have done it, and that's why it's 20-3 at this point in the game. But let's break down why. First is that Cooper Rush is throwing the ball downfield. So therefore, the offensive line cannot fire out to sell the run. Because if it was a screen pass, it wouldn't matter. In this case, they can't because it's an automatic penalty. Second, obvious, Cooper Rush is not as athletic as Jalan Hurts. And third, the pass has been behind him, and you just can't complete that. One of the things that will keep Philadelphia in every single game they play is their great run defense. In this play, I want to spotlight Milton Williams and Haason Reddick. They both get really good penetration and equally roll off their blocks. When you do that, it makes it incredibly hard to run against you. And it doesn't matter who you are, whether you're Derrick Henry, Cook, it doesn't matter. You're not getting through that. And Philadelphia can bring this kind of penetration every single play. We keep hearing blanket statements that Dak Prescott's going to make the Cowboys better. And I'm going to give you a key example of how that's going to apply in this play. So we watch here before the play starts. We have roughly a 10-yard gap between receiver and corner here. And the ball is going to be in the air, and the corner is going to be able to make up the entire 10 yards while the ball is in the air. And that's really going to be the key difference between Dak and Cooper Rush back there. Because when Dak's throwing it, maybe the receiver's not getting hit. Well, I can tell you, the receiver won't be getting hit as soon as he catches the ball. And also, because of that, you have a little inherent fear of overrunning the play. So this is an exact example of how Dak will get you more yards on this play compared to what Cooper Rush is going to give you. We hope that you enjoyed this video. Please click like and subscribe and watch our videos on local football flavor. On this play, I want you to watch number 2, Darius Slay, throughout it, as he is the focal point of this play. What we see here is that he is able to do wire-to-wire coverage perfectly on Gallup throughout that entire play. There was not even a quarter of a second when Gallup would have been considered open, but Cooper Rush still forces it in here. This is a good way to make sure your team continues to be losing and make sure that the other team gets great field position. There is not a scenario on earth where this is the right read to throw the ball to. But this is what you get from pressure on a backup quarterback. Bad things happen. The Philadelphia offense very rarely runs a traditional screen where you need to pull a lineman away to go block for someone, especially a wide receiver screen. And a big reason for that is because you throw the ball just as far on a slant such as this one as you would for a wide receiver screen. Difference being a wide receiver screen, 3 yards is your average play versus a first down. Philadelphia just does some very obvious and basic things like running slant routes downfield instead of running wide receiver screens, and they're constantly pushing the ball downfield, and they're not hurting themselves as a result. Running the ball and throwing the ball downfield. What a novel idea. The run-pass option has taken over the game of football. And since Philadelphia can get this thing cranking, their offense might be unstoppable. So the problem with the run-pass offense is that you get illegal man downfield a lot, and you just get 5 yards taken back. But if Hurts can get that ball out fast enough before the flags come out, I don't know how you could stop this offense. That's basically 4 weapons every play they have to get the defense going the wrong direction. The speed of Smith, the overall diversity of Brown. Sanders can rip you apart on the ground, and Goddard brings it. I don't know how this Philadelphia offense is ever going to be stopped. And it might be a year when we're sitting here in February that we're hearing about flying Eagles fly. For this play, we're going to highlight Isaac Seumalo, right guard of the Philadelphia Eagles, because despite all of the love that Philadelphia got, and justly deserved for the first half of this game and most of the season, the right side of their line really started breaking down in the last drive of the first half and got exponentially worse in the second half when their right tackle got hurt. If there is one concern that I would have about Philadelphia, it would be this, because Golston just runs them back, and when Golston is able to control them, it really changes the game. And the second matchup between Dallas and Philadelphia is going to be incredibly interesting with Pak Prescott in it. In this play, we're going to watch Philadelphia do a read option of either running right up the middle by handing the ball to Sanders or Hurts holding it. And this play is all dependent upon the read of Micah Parsons. And they have been doing this a lot throughout the game, where they are choosing not to block Micah Parsons, but just go off of what he says. And I can tell you, having watched enough Seattle dealing with Kyler Murray and Pittsburgh dealing with Lamar Jackson, the only way you truly ever stop this is you light up the quarterback 4 straight times. You allow the 10-yard run up the middle, but after about 4 times of watching your quarterback get smacked, they stop doing this, and it's the only way to keep this play out of the playbook, because it is undefendable, and they are making probably the second or third best defensive player look like he doesn't know what he's doing. That's how advanced and unbeatable this play is. You have to make them not want to do it by risking their franchise by lighting him up anytime they try it. So that was the first half of the Cowboys at the Eagles. Obviously, a lot of Eagles highlights in there. It's kind of what happens when you're up 20-3 at halftime. So we hope that you're enjoying the strategies of football so far. This has just been such a thorough game with 2 really strong teams. That's why this particular game, we're showing more plays of it, and we're breaking in the first half and second half. You can watch any other strategies of football that we've made up in the playlist, up in the corner. And if you have a specific team that you ever want to find out more about that we've covered on Local Football Flavor, the easiest way to do it is to go through the divisional playlist of the team that you're looking for. And not only will you find the strategies of football that we've done about that team, but also the fan commentary. So if you have any questions or concerns that you'd like me to talk about, a game that you want me to cover, maybe when it's happened or is about to happen, let me know. We certainly will put that on the dial, as well as if you want to come and represent your team and your fan base, please let us know. We'd love to talk to you. We love talking to all the fans out there and getting all the information on what's going on with your team.